Tonight on The Boss.
We were right on the verge of bankruptcy, managed to bob and weave our way around it.
I learned from him, always keep mellow.
Growing up, Alan Fletcher had no idea his dad was the brains behind Nashoba Valley.
Growing up, it was just, the local ski hill with my buddies.
While his older sister Pam adored her time on the slopes,
the passion was there from the beginning.
Alan was slower to develop his passion.
I'm not sure if I liked it or not at first, but I grew to like it a lot. I love skiing, and it's really cool to see other people enjoying it.
Now the king of the mountain, Alan Fletcher, is the boss. It's early morning at Nashoba Valley. Conditions are perfect.
We have 17 trails of packed powder snow.
And all is calm. But not for much longer. By the end of the day,
Perfect. Now come to me.
over 700 students
You blasted out.
and countless other skiers will have carved up Nashoba Valley. Much different than opening day 1964. The first season lasted only 14 days. There were a few rope tows, no lifts, and no snowmaking machinery.
We started with nothing, and we were right on the verge of bankruptcy for the first 15 years, and managed to bob and weave our way around it.
The Fletcher family has owned this hill, as Al Fletcher Sr. calls it, since 1963.
I used to hunt here. This was one of my favorite hunting places. Then I started camping here. I was probably 13, 14 years old.
Al taught himself to ski using Northland's ski manual.
And they had a little book, which was my Bible, which went through the different turns at the time. So I memorized it. Hunting and fishing was just a sideline thing. Skiing was it. So I got thinking maybe it would make a ski area.
The fact Nashoba Valley is still here is a testament to the love Al Fletcher Sr. has for this hill and for the men who helped him create it.
You wouldn't be here without them. They were phenomenal. They each have a different part. I'm not sure about his part.
Peter managed Nashoba Valley while Al Fletcher kept his day job in the electronics business.
He is one of the greatest guys that I've ever met in my life, right there. I worked for 40 years for him, and we never had one cross word. Neither he nor me. 40 years.
He couldn't hear too well.
Midge. Well, Midge kind of came with the mountain, initially clearing much of the trails by hand.
He was the first on the scene.
Top gear. Midge. He was over here in the beginner area, sitting on a rock. I had just bought the property, and I said, "What are you doing here?" He said, "Are you building a ski area?" I said, "Yeah." He says, "I'm cutting the trees." So I tell everybody he came with the property.
For a long time, we had nothing that would groom the hill, except this guy with his 2 feet.
David did a little of everything, including making up the first snowmaking hoses.
Peter went to a hardware store and came with a whole bunch of pipe fittings. We just started putting things together and put air to it. And this didn't work, this worked, and then we started going from there.
These 4 guys have worked together for over 40 years. More than just co-workers, they share a special bond.
We are a family.
Oh, it's worse than that.
I wanted to help this poor guy out.
You didn't realize it was beyond help.
I mean, when we first started, it was nothing.
So I kept saying, no, 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 no. Then I got more and thinking, well, it might be fun. It might be fun. So the first year, it was second year. He gave me twice as much the second year, twice as much as 0.
That was just to keep you on.
And we worked from the ground up. So everything out there, I know from every nut and bolt on that thing. And just was just so special.
It was an enjoyable time. As I say, we didn't do it for the money.
Today, the king of the mountain is Alan Fletcher, Al's youngest son.
We've kind of switched torches at this point. He just comes in and kicks his feet up and barks a little, and then flies off.
Pam Fletcher, Alan's sister, is involved with marketing and sales at Nashoba.
It's been fun to be able to work with the media a lot on a PR level, so it's been quite fun for me. It was definitely a playground, and it was definitely a lot of fun with the friends. The passion was there from the beginning. My fondest memories were chasing my dad down the hill when I was a kid and trying to do everything he would do.
You know, we had a lot of fun growing up here and you know, going off. I remember going off rocks. That was my big thing.
Alan didn't even know his dad owned the mountain until he was about 9 years old.
It was just, you know, the local ski hill with my buddies over there, and that's what it was all about. It was about the skiing. I think they just threw me on skis, and that was, the passion came with get out there and try it. You know, and I'm not sure if I liked it or not at first, but I grew to like it a lot.
They both became world-class skiers while playing on these trails.
There's been a lot of guys that have kind of made it to, myself included. You know, I've certainly raced throughout the United States and North American FIS sanctioned events, as well as a stint of Europa Cup at one point.
And here is Pam Fletcher of the United States. Let's see how she can do.
I made the ski team in 1980, and I stayed on the U.S. national team till '89, and I started off as a slalom and GS skier.
She then switched course and became a competitive, world-class downhill skier.
She seems to be right on form. She is going to be very close.
I went on to win 6 national titles in the speed events, and then won a World Cup downhill in Vail.
She could do it. She does.
And that was probably the big highlight of my career. I had a couple other podium finishes in the World Cup.
And what about Pam Fletcher?
In 1988, Pam was considered the United States' best chance to medal in the Olympic downhill race.
An hour before the race of my life, I was supposed to run #1 in the Olympic downhill, and a course worker collided with me and broke my leg.
I wish it didn't happen today. I mean, why couldn't it have happened 3 weeks from now, or 2 years from now, or if it had to happen at all?
So I kind of lost my Olympic dream, which was hard, but no one can take away the euphoria that you feel when you walk into the Olympic Stadium as a member of that team, and it's crushing.
Come on, open this place.
Their combined experiences have since been put to good use at Nashoba Valley.
I didn't really know what I wanted to do back in high school and college. You know, for a little while, my first couple years of college, I didn't ski race. I kind of took a little breather there from the whole sport, so to speak. And then I got back into it towards my, you know, my junior and senior year, and did real well with it and had a lot of fun with it.
While at the University of Massachusetts Lowell, the ski team won 2 division and team titles. Al graduated with a degree in business management.
Kind of had the opportunity to take an internship with one of 3 different characters that were out there in the business that were kind of rolling along. I actually went with the guy that was the least successful at the time, but I thought what he was doing was pretty neat, and so I went. And plus, it was in Southern California, and I was right out of college.
Yeah, we know why. We all know why you went there.
Do you want to go to Maine or do you want to go to Southern California?
Well, beach, girls, Southern Cal.
Coming up on The Boss, a terrain park like no other.
Keith has transformed the park into something that's far more beyond what we could ever imagine.
Plus, Nashoba Valley's very own snowman.
We used to have a pump that had an old Frankenstein electric switch that you'd have to throw to engage the pump.
We're talking medieval.
The Boss will be right back.
"17 trails of packed powdered snow, with 9 lifts servicing those trails."
Nashoba Valley has been through many changes since the days of rope tows and a gravel floor lodge heated by a pot-bellied stove.
growing up, that was all gravel pit, all the way from that edge of the office park all the way over to that edge. And then if you look off over in the distance over there, you can see the skyline, you can see the buildings in Boston.
Today, Nashoba Valley operates with 4 chairlifts, 2 conveyors, and 4 rope tows for an uphill capacity of 11,600 per hour. In the 1980s, Nashoba Valley was also one of the first areas in the country to allow snowboarding. Keith Kresher is the snowboard instructor over at the terrain park.
Important things that we're going to have to change up, you know, you have the most popular features like your flat box right here. And then all the other features, you know, will change up based on popularity.
Keith has transformed the park into something that's far more beyond what we could ever imagine. And
Countless skiers have learned to ski on this mountain.
Just this one day, today, from counting these little guys till, say, 5 o'clock tonight, I will see approximately 700 customers.
And let me see your skis, turn to me.
Nancy Burns has been teaching here close to 20 years.
yeah, it's my sister. No, she's like the sister from a different mister.
Perfect, now come to me.
Nancy is Nashoba's ski director, managing up to 200 instructors and hundreds of classes.
Perfect, nice job.
I've seen it just increase in numbers you can't believe, numbers and age. When I started out, the younger lessons were for ages like 4, 5, and 6. Now, they're 3 years old. They come out for 3-year-old group lessons, private lessons, in droves.
Nashoba is also part of the USSA, the governing body of